What's up, guys? Thanks for being here. Obviously, was hoping to have this conversation much later in January or February than having it right now. Obviously, it's been a surreal 3.5, 4 months. Coming out of the gate the way we did, 6-3. Overcoming some of the obstacles early in training camp, the injuries. Come off 6-3, having a huge win at home against Buffalo. That was surreal in a positive way. And then now on the flip side, with how we finished the season, with this 6-game losing streak, that's surreal in the negative way. So obviously a lot of work to be done this offseason. I know when I talked to you guys in the past, one of the things I said was it was going to be a good season if we were playing meaningful games in December. Well, when you get to December at 7-4, that target changes, and so we were fully expecting to be playing beyond January, and we weren't able to get that done. And obviously, a lot of things to go over. We're gonna begin our off-season process now, starting with. I know I've said it before. One of the most important meetings we have is our end-of-season meeting with the coaching staff. So we're gonna start that process this week. Just in regards to Zach, I'm gonna echo Robert in a lot of what he says. And philosophically, we've never been a team that's given up on talent early, and we all know the talent that Zach possesses. We're gonna do what we've done with every player, and that's work with Zach, develop Zach, and we're gonna do everything that we can to ultimately help Zach reach his full potential here.
Bill, how complicated is it with Zach, where you still don't really know yet? Obviously you've seen the talent, but it hasn't worked out in 2 years now. Where you're going into year 3 next year with Robert's staff, and quietly or tacitly, playoffs are probably somewhat of a mandate. And so how do you balance that by putting potentially all your eggs in the Zach basket versus maybe bringing a veteran in? What's your thought on that?
Yeah, I think again, Mark, it starts with our off season starts with these meetings with the coaches. We're going to really. I think it's important for us to go back and have really tough, hard conversations about how we got to this point, and I think honestly that started today. Last 2 weeks have been a little dark for me personally, but actually a little bit of light today. Just talking with some of our players in the exit interviews, and they're obviously frustrated, but they're also very optimistic about a lot of the things that are going on here. But just on the quarterback, We've got a lot of work to do in terms of getting together, going over everything that got us to this point, and then moving forward, making sure we have the best plan, not only for a certain position room, but for the entire organization.
Joe, do you anticipate Zach Wilson being this team's starting quarterback to begin next year?
Look, I mean, that determination isn't by me. That's really a Robert question. But Zach, I had a great conversation with Zach today, and I think I know we're all committed to helping him reach his full potential as a player. Look, there's a lot of things that we can do better to help him, and so we're gonna get together and discuss all those things.
Joe, can you tolerate? Can you tolerate developing him on the field next year as the quarterback? Active in games and stuff, or you need to bring somebody else in?
Look, I think we're going to look at the landscape of this overall offseason. It's not just one position room. Yes, we are going to continue to develop Zach. How that quarterback room looks next year. Look, we're at the very infant stages of putting this offseason plan together. But we're going to explore every single avenue that we have to upgrade this team, upgrade this roster.
When you talk about exploring every potential avenue to upgrade the roster, does that include potentially trading for a quarterback? Is that something that you are open to, or something that you would consider?
I mean, again, that's a hypothetical, I'd say, but I think, again, as it pertains to upgrading the roster, we're going to look at every avenue, every position, every different way we can to upgrade the team.
Joe, you had a belief in Zach. Joe, you had a belief in Zach, right, in April of '21 to take him #2 overall. You saw the things that you believed in. Has this organization not properly developed him to be sitting where we are right now?
Look, I think there's things we could have done better, sure. But I think the most important thing from our end is that we still believe in Zach. We know the makeup that he brings, the character that he has, everything he brings from a work ethic, competitive standpoint, and we're going to do everything in our power to help support him.
Joe, your defense obviously was statistically one of the best in the league this season, but you didn't score a touchdown the last 3 games over that 6-game losing streak. The offense wasn't really scoring much. I mean, how do you kind of process like the disparity there? I think it's pretty clear that the offense was maybe holding back what the defense was doing.
Yeah, look, you can't argue the facts on not scoring touchdowns the last 3 games. It certainly wasn't a lack of effort. I feel like these guys, they busted their butt every day in practice, and the defense, the defense was obviously a championship caliber defense this year, and so those are things that we're going to get together as a group and go over specifically where we can get better as a team and as an offense, and specifically where we can attack and upgrade different position groups.
Joe, I have a 2-parter on Zach. Football-wise, why just didn't it happen for him this year? I mean, what didn't happen? Just from a technical standpoint,
Yeah.
Football-wise, why did he develop as you had hoped?
Well, look, I think you guys were here for the start of training camp. I think you guys saw that there was a lot of positives going on with the entire team, and obviously when the injury happens in the first preseason game, that's obviously a setback, and you miss a lot of valuable reps with 2 teams coming in here. Well, excuse me, Atlanta came in here and we went to the Giants, and those are really good opportunities to get reps against different defenses than your own. So look, I think there's a lot of reasons. I think there's things we could have done better to help Zach, but I think just the consistency of being available, especially at that critical early part of training camp, and but still he came back. He brought us back from a 10-point deficit at Pittsburgh. We went on a little bit of a run there, but we just couldn't get the right level of consistency as an entire offense.
And just the second part of it is when he got benched after the New England game, where were you on that? Were you in favor of that? Did you support that move?
Yeah, so anytime there's a decision like that, and Robert's so good about his communication, and we bounce different ideas off each other. We had conversations. Ultimately, Robert made the decision to go with Mike, and I supported his decision.
Joe, part of your evaluation obviously going to be the guys coming back, Brees and AVT, particularly went down at the same time, and even Mackay looked in the locker room like he was in much better shape. What do you think this team looks like with those guys back healthy next year, when you kind of try to take that piece and look at what you have ahead?
Yeah, and look, I think when I talked about consistency and stability with the whole offense, I think you can go right there with the offensive line. I think we come into training camp and it's going to be George and Lakin and Connor and AVT and Mackay, and that quickly changed, right? And so we get Dwayne in here, and we lose Dwayne in a non-padded practice for 4 weeks, so there's change there. Max comes in, does a great job filling in, so I guess what my big point is, it was hard to find a level of consistency and stability within that group this year, and despite all of the change up front, I really felt like we were in a good place after that first Buffalo game. If you guys remember that 4th quarter drive, our last offensive drive, I think it was a 6-minute drive. We were running the ball really well. Felt like we had really gotten over the hump, and we were playing with a banged up unit with backups, and we felt like we were, we maybe gotten over that hump. But again, there's obviously more changes and less stability. So ultimately, I think in an ideal scenario, you've got your starting five, and all of them are playing together all year. Maybe that's not realistic, but that's going to be the goal moving forward, is trying to find five guys that can play together all year.
Joe, how do you view Mackay now entering it? He hasn't played in basically 2 years. Do you view him as a starter, or can you not go there right now?
This is a big offseason for Mackay, and I think he understands that. And I think certainly our offensive line has missed what he can do for the last 2 seasons. But this is a big offseason for him, and obviously it's going to be important that he's able to hit the ground running, be in the best shape that he can be, and that's gonna make for a healthy 2023 for him.
Joe, Quinnen was in here and he said that he wants a contract extension by the start of OTAs or he would pull down. I know it's a priority of yours, but is that something you want to get done like soon?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we all saw the year that Quinnen had. And Quinnen, I mean, you can't say enough good things about not only the player, what he brings in terms of playing the run, rushing the passer, the type of teammate and caliber person he is. So ultimately, Quinnen's a big part of what of our success this year, and so we're gonna get together as a group. We're gonna go over our plan. I feel like we have a great football admin team: Dave Sosi, Nick Sabella. We're gonna get together and come up with a very good plan, and then move forward. But we're definitely gonna do what's in the best interest of the team and the organization.
There's been a lot of speculation, obviously, at ends of the year like this, with Robert's staff, and particularly because of the offensive struggles with Mike. What, if any, input do you have with Robert on that, and is Woody involved in that?
Yeah, I would say, like a previous question about the post-New England game, look, Robert and I have a lot of great conversations, and so Robert has a thought or an idea, or if he has a question, or we have great rapport, and we're able to have great conversations about everything. And I feel like Robert has a really good bead on this team and his staff, and I trust and support any decision that Robert makes, and I can tell you that we've gotten full support from Woody starting from since he's come back, and I think you saw that with the offseason we were able to have last year, going out and being able to get players that could help this team. So I know we have Woody's support.
Just to clarify, if I could though, are you saying that at the end of the day, it's you trust Robert's decision making on that?
Absolutely.
So it's his call ultimately then?
Yeah, absolutely.
Joe, we haven't, I think we're going to get a chance to talk to Woody a little bit later on this week, but we haven't to this point. Rich actually had a report a couple days ago that he isn't exactly thrilled with the way the season ended. What have your conversations with Woody been like? Because you are someone who does talk a little bit more than us.
Yeah, none of us are thrilled, obviously, and we all want to win. We're all highly competitive. No one wants to win more than Woody, more than the Johnson family, and so these conversations that we have are very productive. And again, he's been very supportive about giving us what we need to succeed.
How would you assess the job Robert did, Joe?
Man, I think we had a lot of curveballs thrown. Robert does such a good job with his staff and communicating with these players. Look, we're all devastated to be where we are right now, but I think Robert's final message to the team was unbelievable today. We're going to be in this we're going to have these opportunities again moving forward, and ultimately we have to finish. We have to go out there and finish games, finish the season. So we all need to take the next step individually and together as a group. But I love Robert, and I love the passion that he brings. I love we share the same philosophy on what makes good teams good, and there's no other teammate I'd rather be with.
Joe, as you look around the league now and the way the game is played, do teams need an elite quarterback to be elite? Or can you have make up for those deficiencies elsewhere on the roster?
Yeah, I think obviously you've seen. I think generationally, there's maybe 4 or 5 quarterbacks every generation that are really that top-notch player from the Marino, Joe Montana, Steve Young to the Aikman, Brett Favre group to Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. Now it seems like we're in a whole new generation. As far as my experience in the league, it's a team sport and the ultimate team sport, and so quarterback is, I stand by, the most important position in all sports. But ultimately, it's a team sport, and you have to have a great group of people around them to support them.
Joe, is it possible in your opinion for, we've seen young quarterbacks get drafted and sit and then play eventually. Is it possible to have a quarterback like the situation that might be presented to Zach, where he played right away, now he's going to sit for a little bit, and then he's going to go back out there with the same team and then be a starting quarterback in the NFL?
Look, I think you've seen many different ways that quarterbacks, other players have been able to overcome adversity. Whether they sit early, sit late. There's all different ways that people can come back. I think ultimately, if you have the right kind of mental toughness and perseverance, which I know Zach has, there's a lot of obstacles you can overcome. And I think we're gonna do everything we can to help Zach reach all of his goals.
So given what you just said about the quarterback position, it seems like if you guys had gotten better play just overall consistently out of that position, you might still be playing right now. So how disappointing is that, given what you said when you were hired as well, and how important is it to fix it quickly?
I mean, obviously, I would echo what Robert said at the end of his talk today. Consistency is going to be the name of the game, and that doesn't go just quarterback. I mean, that goes every position group. But obviously, we're all hurting about where we are right now, opposed to where we started the season. So again, it really goes back to getting together, having tough conversations, how we got to this point. Because only if you really open up those wounds and talk about it can you really start the healing process and start to get better.
Last one from Rich. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify something you said on Quinnen. You said you're going to come up with a plan, for Quinnen.
Yeah, just to clarify that, not just for Quinnen. It's going to be an overall plan on kind of where we are, but as it pertains to our salary cap situation, which we feel like we still have maintain a ton of flexibility.
I guess what I was asking was because usually when we ask you about a player who's coming up for a big contract, you usually say, well, we love so and so, we want him here for a long time, or with Jet for life.
Yeah.
What that? I mean,
yeah.
I don't want to put words in your
No more Jet for life comments from me. But obviously,
sorry to bring up that.
Obviously, Quinnen.
You want him long term,
we all love Quinnen. Quinnen's 25. He's had a fantastic season, and so still think there's a lot of upside for him. So yeah, we want Quinnen here.